Hey, good afternoon, guys. Wanted to give a quick update. People have been asking, and I'm so sorry. It's been really crazy. As you can see, we have Brian's brothers fixing our house. They remodeled our bathroom and our bedroom. And for some reason, I cannot find my makeup this morning, so this is how I went to work. But it is what it is. I can't find my hairspray, so my hair is flying everywhere. But hey, I made it to work this morning. So, or I guess this afternoon. So Brian came home on Sunday. I had a lot of people noticing that our car was there. Yes, he did come home on Sunday. We've kind of just been in our own little world. He does require a lot of assistance, so I haven't been sleeping very well. We moved his bed to the family room. Gosh, was it Wednesday or Thursday before we left the hospital? There was a really bad night. His heart rate spiked really high, and he just wasn't very coherent. And so the kids came and we held vigil by his bed all night. I had actually told Addie not to come and see him, that he hadn't been sleeping and he was going to bed, and so not to come, and I ended up texting him at about 10:30 telling everybody to come up and hang out. So they hung out till about 3:30. Things calmed down. So anyway, he's home. He is getting palliative care currently. It's different than hospice, so he still is doing some treatment. We did start the Optune on Wednesday. He was told at the hospital there's really no other treatment that he can have currently because of his blood. So really the only options is more natural treatments and then the Optune. His doctor did offer Avastin. Brian is thinking about that. And so he said we could know Monday. He's not really in a state of mind today, I think, to be able to give his real opinion on Avastin. One thing I've noticed with Brian is his personality is very different. Obviously, given the circumstances, but I think any of us would be that way. He tends to have a little bit more anxiety, and I don't know, he seems to be a little bit more down in the dumps, not as optimistic as he usually is. I feel like he's doing amazing. He couldn't walk at all in the hospital. I mean, barely stand up by the side of the bed. And yesterday we got up and he walked to the other side of the family room, from his bed to the other side of the family room, and then he walked back, and that was only with me. Before, we've had to have grandma or the therapist there helping because he could fall. He did use the walker. So yeah, I feel like he's getting stronger every day. We have been battling his blood sugars. They did increase his dexamethasone based on our last MRI, which we had last Thursday. They think that his tumor is getting worse. I was told that, I belong to that group in Facebook, and I was told that they can actually tell if it's true progression or due to radiation and chemo unless they do a specific MRI, which they didn't do for him. So I'm taking that with a grain of salt, that his oncologist is saying that his tumor is super aggressive and he needs to just go home and be with family, that there's really no other treatment, and he's really trying to talk him out of doing Avastin and just being home and doing the Optune or whatever. I don't feel like, so in the hospital he pretty much became not completely paralyzed, but couldn't even move his left leg and arm. And when I brought that up to the doctors and they started him on the increased dexamethasone, he's been able to lift his leg and move his arm. And yes, he does feel weak on his left side. There's no way around that, where his tumor is. But like, he's been able to walk and everything. And so he is taking bites of food. He's still just on TPN, which is also hard with the blood sugar because it's got dextrose and everything else in it and lots of protein. And so his his BUN, his kidney function. I'll just say that, not giving you specifics. Some of you don't understand that stuff, but so his kidney function is off, likely due to the extra protein. His prealbumin level came back normal, which is amazing. That's what we want to see. Albumin and protein levels aren't necessarily a sign of not enough protein. It's the prealbumin, and that came back normal, so super happy with that. But like, yeah, his protein and albumin normally is showing low. His sodium is showing low as well, but based on other calculations they do, it's not really low. He does have low calcium. So his labs are off. He still has some enteritis. We did increase his pain medication yesterday. I had him on a monitor for his blood sugars, but I decided today, because he was super agitated, super flush, super warm, so I decided to test his blood just with a prick, which I don't love to do because he gets poked so many times, but we did it, and his blood sugar was actually quite different. So I woke up last night with him being over 300, but today his blood sugar on the Libra thing was showing like 266 when he took it via his finger, and yes, his hands were washed. His levels were actually 301, so that's a big discrepancy in sugar numbers. So I had to call back the dietitian. They're getting stuff ready to come out tomorrow for the TPN. They're going to increase his insulin. They're hoping that they can get his insulin well controlled with that. And then we can kind of cycle his TPN. I came into work today. Fridays are my big days. He's already texted me, super anxious, wanting to know when I'm coming back. He's not feeling well. He's jittery. He's anxious. I think part of that has to do with the high blood sugar. You guys know Brian. He's not that way. We've both been very independent. We really haven't been like that our whole marriage. Like, one of us needs someone that much. I mean, we need each other, right? But we've always been very independent, do our own thing. We don't need permission from the other person. So this is very new. I'm not saying I hate it. I just feel bad for him because I know his anxiety is so bad. Any of you have dealt with anxiety? I dealt with it for 40 some odd years. And so I have to remember too, because like the other day I said, don't worry, I have it all figured out. And he goes, telling someone with anxiety not to worry doesn't help. And I kind of chuckled a little bit because I'm like, that's what he always told me for 40 years, but he never knew what anxiety was or how to deal with it. And not that I'm happy that he's learning that now, because it is miserable. And especially being in the position he's in, where he needs constant assistance for everything, for eating, for drinking, for bathrooming, going to the bathroom, all that stuff. It's pretty, anxietous when you've been taking care of yourself for 52 years, right? And then, of course, the whole prognosis, right? And when palliative care comes in, and like yesterday was a big day for him. There was 5 different people that came in. We had home health come in. They had blood drawn. They had, we had our primary care come and visit him at home. We had palliative come in. We had therapy come in, and and then palliative was telling him he probably shouldn't do a ton of therapy because it's due to his brain cancer, that he's not going to get any better, and all this other stuff. And then was trying to talk him out of doing Avastin. That Avastin's such a bad drug, and his mom was like, why is Avastin bad? And the doctor's like, well, let's look it up, right? And and so then he really didn't know a whole lot about the medication, and he's sitting here, trying to talk him out of it, which I get. I mean, let's be honest, we know what the prognosis is. He was given 7 to 9 months from his oncologist due to how aggressive his tumors are. But at the same time, again, there's miracles, there's things that happen, and I can tell you, I feel like he's done amazing since being home. He was nervous to come home because he can't do a lot for himself, and he was worried about me having to take care of him. His mom's been there helping me, which has been amazing. She stays with him when I have to go to work. The next couple weeks is going to be a little interesting. I hope he continues to get better and not worse, because the girl that I hired for work is going to Tonga for 2 weeks, and so Addie's going to try and work as much as she can here, but I'm going to be in and out as well a lot more than I have been, and I'm hoping his anxiety won't be so bad. But luckily I'm just down the road, which is another good thing, whereas in the hospital I was 15 minutes away. So we have appreciated the few people who have come by to say hi to him. His white blood cell count is still low. We're trying to get approval to give the end plate in home for him. His neutrophils are pretty stable. His white blood cells and leukocytes are still low. His hematocrit and hemoglobin has not gone up, but it stayed where it is. So that's good. So we're not worried about bleeding. His platelets went up to 15,000, so only 1,000 in a week. Not bad. They're not going down, so that's great, but they're not going up either. And he has to get to 30,000 in order to be able to do radiation. I know his radiation doctor wants to see him next week, so we'll see what's going on there, if he wants to do radiation or not. So yeah, there's just a lot of unknowns. Brian is really debilitated compared to where he was, but I also feel there's some room for improvement if he can get the mindset to try. I know he gets frustrated and he'll say, this is no life for either of us. And I'll say, yeah, but you're talking about in the moment. We're not talking about tomorrow when you're walking more or going to the bathroom more. But anyway, so keep praying for us. That's all we need right now. And feel free to send him texts. If you want to come see him, just let us know. It has to be very brief. You have to wear a mask. He does get really worn out, but I think it helps to see people, especially from work. He's looking forward to maybe going back to work. I'm hoping we can get him back there. But just wanted to kind of tell you where we're at this point. So no major changes except for that we're home, and I'm hoping to be able to do more natural stuff. It's still been hard because I can't give him a lot of vitamins or anything due to his stomach, but we're crossing our fingers that we can I'm slowly starting to introduce things here and there. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.